titled Praying for Our President. 1 Timothy 2:1-2 says, I exhort therefore that first of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks be made for all men, for kings and for all that are in authority, that we may lead a quiet and peaceful life in all godliness and honesty. What a great scripture to put into practice, especially following the swearing in and inaugural speech of or opening speech, I guess we should say, of our president-elect. Like most Bible-believing Christians, I can think of many biblical convictions that I wish our president-elect had, and about which we must fervently pray. But today I think I will focus on obedience to the above scriptures and cultivate the kind of thankfulness that leads to a quiet, peaceful life. Maybe God is calling you to pray, to really intercede and kneel down to pray for our president-elect, the selection of his cabinet, and for our Congress, to pray for our country. Romans 13:1 says, let every soul be subject to the governing authorities, for there is no authority except from God, and the authorities that exist are appointed by God. That's good to know, isn't it? Our president-elect needs our prayers for strength to maintain the convictions he holds, which are in keeping with God's will for our nation. And he needs our prayers for the wisdom to realize where his beliefs are not according to God's plan, so that he'll have the courage to change. May he and might we all remember where power ultimately comes from, and seek the Lord daily for his will in everything that we need. I wrote that 8 years ago this week in regard to the first election of President Obama, and it is as true today as it was then. Parties come and parties go, and some people are thrilled with the outcome of the election, and some people are distraught, and we are to be above all of that, because the kings and the rulers are nothing except as they are under the sovereign hand of Almighty God. Whether you believe that God has appointed the current outcomes to judge our country or to bless our country does not matter that much. In the end, we are called to pray, and we are called to keep our focus on the Lord. Let's pray together right now. Father, thank you that we are not vulnerable to the to and fro and the blowing of the wind in this way or that. Thank you that our feet are upon a rock, Jesus Christ. The Lord is our rock. The Lord is our strength. The Lord is our help in times of trouble. And I pray for those who are elated at the outcome of this election, that they would not put their trust in man. And I pray for those who are deeply grieved by the outcome of this election, that they would be reminded that you are as in control as you have ever been, and that is not diminished in any regard. We seek your forgiveness not for watching, not for praying, not for voting, not for thinking and considering, for we want to be grateful participants in this wonderful country that you have allowed us to be part of. But we ask your forgiveness where we have indicated by our emotional vacillation that this is of bigger consequence than it ultimately is. And we ask your forgiveness where we maybe have inflamed others and caused them anxiety through our own, when because of what you've said and because of what we know to be true, we could have been the source of strength to others that you have been to us. And so as we go from church today, we go from church holding this matter of parenting with an open hand. Let us keep first things first. Let us love and give and serve and trust and spend ourselves for what really matters. And in regard to our country, let us remain prayerful and grateful and hopeful because of the promises that you have given to us. To those ends, we commend ourselves and thank you for the joy of being in your house on your day. And all of God's people said, say amen.
Amen.
Come on, let's sing this before we go.